Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton, and we invite you to recline back your chairs, ease all of your cares, as we present to you our NXT review. And I gotta tell you, this was, for the most part, a really fun episode of NXT, I thought. There were a few things that really annoyed me, which is why we have our first segment here of the night. Mainly the main event, which was gross, but we're just going to skip that entirely given our new policy of not platforming trash. But the stuff that was good on here was really good. And there's one thing that I'm really thinking about in particular that I'm sure we'll both be excited to talk about, that being Tyler Rust and Malcolm Bivens, and a very pleasantly surprising return to the women's division, dude. That, I think, was one of the high points of the show for me. We got to check in on a Gargano Christmas, which I'm telling you, the Gargano, and really now formerly known as The Way, the whole faction, really is starting to warm its way into my heart, sans Austin Theory, who's still a fucking tool. And yeah, I enjoyed the energy of NXT tonight as we're on the road to New Year's Evil. How did you feel about it, man?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Theory, because, man, he's really doing his best to try and ruin this faction, isn't he?
Yeah, Yeah, that's pretty much my feelings about Austin Theory. Just some incoherent hatred.
Yeah, he's consistently the worst part of these segments, to the point that, like, it's almost like he's trying to be awful.
Yeah, that's what I think they're going for, but, like, I feel like if you want a perfect instance of that, Candice is actually a much better model to follow, because her delivery on some lines, and there's one I'm thinking of, and again, we'll talk about all of it, I'm like, oh, come on. But like in a good way. Theory is just so try-hard even when he's trying to suck, when just like, Theory, you know what your face is. You see a mirror every day. Just let it happen. If you're going to do the whole, cringe thing, just exist. You don't even really need to try. It's probably better for all of us if you don't. But other than that, how'd you feel about NXT tonight?
Not as enthusiastic about really any of it as you seem to be about some parts, other than, like you said, the Bivens Rust stuff I really enjoyed. There wasn't really anything terrible on this show. Actually, no, you know what? I can't say that. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But if I had to grade this show, like, on the spectrum of NXT shows in general, I'd say maybe like a 7 out of 10.
I think that's respectable. I honestly think, despite my enthusiasm, that is where I'm at. Maybe a 0.5, but I wouldn't say I'm even a whole point above you. Again, I just think what was good was really good on this.
Okay.
But
we agree on the overall grade. We just have different ways of expressing it.
Yeah, pretty much. But let's get to the stuff that irked me and probably us. I'm wondering if you've got any heats tonight or even nitpicks. So let's get into heat of the night. And brother, okay, I'm just going to try and be as succinct with this as I can. I hate how they're booking fucking Timothy Thatcher in this feud, dude.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. You know what, dude? I see where you're coming from. I also, like, dude, you gotta understand, going into the match with Ruff, I told my mom, I was like, do you know who Thatcher's opponent is? And she said no, and I said, it's Ruff. And he said, oh, well, he's gonna beat his ass. And I was like, and she was like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe, Ruff's been getting surprise wins. And I was like, yeah, and NXT has really, like, gone out of their way to, like, kick people while they're down lately. And they did it again.
Yeah, dude, I want to make crystal clear, because at first, like, I was really pissed. And you know that we're trying to be different this time around going back to review, so I'm not going to rant and rave or any of that. I get why Ruff won. They even explain it later in the segment because he gets interviewed. It was to set up him being contender again for the North American Championship, getting his rematch with Johnny next week.
Yeah.
I get that, right? But I feel like you didn't have to do this at Thatcher's expense. You could have very easily, and it probably would have even been better narratively, if Ruff, say, caught Austin Theory. Because maybe Johnny's, like, barking orders like, no, punish him, don't go for the win, punish him. Maybe Theory's feeling himself too much, and Ruff catches him. So you get him within Johnny's proximity. Having him beat Thatcher and then trying to write it off as, oh, Thatcher's really obsessed with Ciampa. And then, my God, like, and again, if you had to do this, I always feel like there's a better way to do it. Because how I would have done it, if you had to do the whole Willow's Bell, which I didn't like, the Ciampa got the better of him again. I would have had Thatcher win, and then continue the assault on the outside because Ciampa never came out, and then maybe, you get the strategy. But when you have Ciampa get the last word, metaphorically speaking, after Thatcher already lost the match, it's like, how much dirt are you going to heap on this dude? And then, we know that they're going to do the fight pit in 2 weeks, which I think that's the same thing of, like, the Riddle and Thatcher, what they did that one time.
And that's kind of what I was coming back around to, was as disappointing as it is that they're kind of doing Thatcher dirty like this, I'm really excited about that fight pit match.
See, dude, and again, I don't want to say that I disagree with you, because that doesn't necessarily get to the heart of it, because I do agree with you. Like, as a fan, I am excited, right? I just have to wonder more in this space where you and I are meant to review and kind of, take things and kind of break it down. Even if Thatcher performs well in the fight pit, I don't think it's guaranteed that he's going to beat Ciampa in it with the way that he's been booked. Right. And even if he does, I wonder what it's going to do for him long term. Because I'm not saying he's been irreparably damaged, but, like, dude, here's this guy that, again, I've said in the past, I think is NXT's closest answer to a Suzuki. And you have him losing to Leon Ruff, and the flimsiest excuse you can give is that, he was so obsessed with Ciampa, which tells me, so you can be easily distracted. If I give you enough of a motivation, you're going to take your eye off of the ring, which I feel like, you used to run with Imperium when it was like the whole WXW thing and this and that, like the mat is sacred. We know how seriously Thatcher takes wrestling. He couldn't stand Matt Riddle, but now you're telling me you could
Didn't he beat Riddle in the fight pit?
I believe, yes, he did beat Riddle in the fight pit.
Okay, so that gives me the most hope, because they might make the fight pit a Thatcher thing the way that they're making strap matches a Loomis thing.
Yeah, and, again, I agree with Paul and Foster, that, like, of course, I like wrestlers more than companies, and Paul's right. They probably don't rate Thatcher as highly as I do. I accept all that. That doesn't mean that we can't use this portion of our show for me to just get it out and say that I think it's a crock. It's a load of crap. This just really annoyed me tonight. So I'm going to cede the floor to you. Is there anything that annoyed you tonight that you want to get off your chest?
On the other side of the coin of the company not liking people the same amount as we do, they don't like Thatcher as much as we do, but they sure as hell do love the fuck out of Raquel Gonzalez way more than we do, don't they?
Oh, yeah, she's getting pushed so hard.
Yeah, that pull-apart fight tonight was fucking garbage.
It really was. Like, I'm glad I wasn't the only one, dude, because honestly, here's the thing, guys, I didn't call Ashton, like, on Facebook call until after the show was over.
Yeah, dude, guys, you gotta realize, we literally have not communicated until we went live. Like, we took 30 seconds to kind of tell each other where we were as far as, like, how close to the end of the show we were and stuff like that. We haven't talked about the show at all until right now. And this is the first that we're talking about this segment, and I fucking hated it, and I'm so happy to hear that you were right there with me, John.
Oh, dude, I actually feel validated by you, because I'm thinking, if I'm getting to be too nitpicky, when the beginning of the fight especially looked so clunky and just so bad. Like, I can't even believe I'm saying... Yeah.
Say what you have to say, because I might go long.
No, because I was just going to say, like, it's bad when I feel like the fight that they did a few years ago between, like, Undertaker and Lesnar, with Taker just being so old and so worn down, looked more compelling and more convincing than this. Like, this was just really, again, I go back to the word clunky and cringe, but please, dude, this is your heat of the night, so please, you go, man.
To me, this segment felt like NXT trying to create its own from nothing legendary feud. Because if you think about it, they are treating this feud, because Rhea and Raquel were tag partners and good friends on, like, the Florida house show circuit in NXT before Raquel was able to debut and really do anything on the show itself. They're trying to book these two the way that you would have expected them to book, or really the way that they did book Owens and Zayn. The way that you expect them to book two people with a long history on the indies who the fans know they have that history and get excited when they see them interact. That's how they're booking these two. And the way that works most of the time is oh, these two people have a lot of history with each other before coming to NXT because they were on the indies together, because they worked each other a lot in other companies, because they have that experience, because they're both good workers, and because they have good chemistry with each other. The problem when it comes to this, though, is that Raquel is a fucking NXT product, so she doesn't have any experience outside of it. And Rhea, I want to say, was on the indies for a grand total of like a year or two, maybe 3 at most, before getting signed. So you have a good, like, solid worker in Rhea, which I will give her that credit. She's not bad. She's good. She's decent. She's solid. But you're pitting her against mediocrity at best, when I feel like she'd be much better served going up against the more well-known indie girls like Shotzi, like Io, like Indy, like Santana, etc., etc. The girls that we know can work and give her a good match. But no, they're basically relying on Rhea to carry this feud in the ring, and she's not good enough to do that.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I'm sorry to interrupt you one more time, though. I want to finish. This pull-apart fight, I think, was the first time that I've ever really realized, like, Rhea is 85% presentation, 15% substance. She's good, and I give her that credit. She is good. But holy shit, is her actual ability so much lower than the way that she's presented. Like, she's like a C+, maybe B- wrestler, worker, fighter, performer, whatever you want to call it. But the packaging and the presentation around her is A fucking plus. And it makes her look like way more of a star than her talent level would really lend itself to right now. And I would love to see her get there. She's still young as hell. She's like 23, 24 years old. She's still so young. She could definitely get to that point. But right now, she is not ready to be carrying a feud with someone as green as Raquel Gonzalez. Because this pull-apart fight felt fake as fuck. It lacked heat. And to me, it exposed Rhea in a way that I never wanted to see her get exposed.
Yeah, I mean, brother, first of all, I just want to get ahead and say I think your analysis, I more or less agree with 100%, especially that last bit that you just got through there. I think you're absolutely spot on. To be a bit more charitable, I understand, right? Here's my problem. I understand why NXT would want to push the organic talent. In fact, it's ironic, really, in the coolest way, because, you know, I've wanted NXT to do that for the last couple of years. I felt like NXT got too saturated with big indie names that had already made their name outside of NXT. Right. And if anything, it's not NXT giving them value, it's those indie people giving the value to NXT. And there's just something very dangerous about that fact, right? So it's
ironic, right? Because, like, we remember how many years ago it was that Triple H said, oh yeah, we're interested in working with companies that make people, not companies that use people. And yet now here we are in NXT, feels like one of those companies that uses people rather than making people.
Exactly. So it's kind of a bitter irony because I understand the motivation. Of course I understand it. We've talked about it many times on the podcast. It's just, I feel like, one, if you're going to build Raquel, which again, I'm just putting my feelings about her aside because, again, they're pretty much a cosign of yours. And I'm like, okay, you want to push Raquel. Not thrilled, but okay, we all make choices. I almost feel like they're telling her story out of order. Because, like, we've got Io, right, who's this amazing champion. I popped for her fucking segment tonight. And, you know, I know we've kind of talked about Toni Storm, too, but I'll be honest, like, Toni is a heel facing Io with their story. They've got enough of a substance as a story, like, oh, I beat her in the Mae Classic and Io's never gotten her win back over me. You've got me invested. Just from a pure in-ring standpoint, you got me invested. And then what happened tonight, you sure as fuck had me invested, right? But I can't enjoy that, right? Because I feel like the bigger story is Raquel is being built up to face Io and, God forbid, maybe even take the title off of her. And so I can't even really be in the moment with what Io's got lined up because I'm worrying about Raquel. But the thing is, I shouldn't be worried about Raquel right now. And I feel like NXT almost doesn't want me to be. They had her pin Io in War Games, but now you're backpedaling to Rhea, who already beat you in Halloween Havoc. Like, you get what I mean? Like, I feel like if you really wanted to tell the story and really prep me and prep everybody, maybe you should have had her beat Rhea at Halloween Havoc, which I do expect her to beat Rhea at New Year's Evil in the last woman standing match, just to kind of put all of this, a nice little bow on all of this. We see Dexter Lumis drawing an image of those two, and it's going to be last woman standing. And I'm sure with the stip, it'll compensate for some of the deficiencies. It might even be a solid matchup. but you're kind of, to me, all over the place. Like, you have her pin Io, and I was hoping we would just get the title match out of the way on TV, right? But the more they drag this out, the more I'm really terrified they're going to do Rhea Io at a takeover. And you were just talking about the greenness of Gonzalez. No fucking way is she ready for a takeover spot. And personally, as a fan, I'm offended Raquel is getting that spot before we get Shotzi Io 2 at a takeover. That to me, honestly, is a joke. I don't even know when Mercedes Io is going to happen. Maybe that'll be New Year's Evil as well. Hell, Mercedes, and she can't talk for shit. I love Mercedes, but we were both excited about her being with Robert Stone because we know she can't talk. But even with her lack of talking ability, I would have bought Mercedes being at a takeover long before Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're doing this all out of order, dude, and that's my big concern. I can be charitable with, I get that you want to push the organic talent, and you should, although I
think Javaris just said something in the chat that I could not agree with more. If you were absolutely dead set on Raquel being the one that you were going to have win the War Games match for her team, she should have picked Rhea so that this last woman standing match, would have then effectively been like a rubber match.
Exactly. I agree with Javaris and you 100%. That's what I mean about telling the story out of order. Like you had her pin Io, so I'm like, okay, so the title shot is imminent, right? And then we've got Toni Storm piping up more, and then, I don't want to be coy about it anymore. We all watch the show. Fucking Mercedes is back, which made me pop fucking huge. Yep. So, and that's another problem, too, because if you want to protect your organic talent, this being Raquel, and again, trying to take not necessarily a more objective, but a more detached view, you're making me care less about Raquel when you're putting these other challengers in Io's path, because I care about Toni more than Raquel, and I sure as fuck care about Mercedes more than both of them. And obviously, we're still hoping for an Ember matchup down the road if Io makes it that long as champion. So I just feel like not only is this a Raquel problem, like narratively, this might even just be a women's division problem that you don't have your fucking hierarchy sorted and clearly defined, and it's like diminishing your narrative to me. So I just wanted to kind of build off of what you said, because I think this really shows a glaring problem with the women's division at present to me. So, yeah.
It's one of those things where NXT likes to brag about having this amazingly stacked women's division, and yet aside from maybe 2 or 3 of the women, they seem to not really know what the fuck to do with most of them.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah.
So, what's the point in having a stacked division?
Yeah.
If you misuse 70% of the people in said division.
Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better, man.
Shotzi wasn't on the show tonight.
That's a disgrace. That's a disgrace.
Anyway. That was my biggest heat of the night. Actually, that wasn't my only heat of the night, but that was my other heat of the night, other than the one that I thought we were going to talk about already.
Oh, yeah. What else you got, brother?
Just the Austin Theory being awful thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he really is. By the way, Thosser, I was going to type a reply to you, but I don't want dead air, so I'm just going to tell you never have to apologize to me. I didn't interpret it that way. You're beautiful. You're all beautiful, and I'm happy you're all here, especially because it helps me get the taste out of my mouth of the trash that actually ended NXT. But with that said, let us get into our NXT review. We open up street fight. Lorcan and Birch come out, going to defend the tag titles in a street fight against Maverick and Dane. Maverick and Dane get the jump on Lorcan and Birch to start the matchup. Weapons get introduced very quickly. Some highlights. Lorcan at one point gets back body dropped onto 2 chairs. Poor Lorcan, man. He got beat up in this. He took 3 different spots that I winced at for him, but he's a tough son of a bitch, but I don't worry. Maverick gets dropped hold into a chair by Birch at one point. Lorcan and Dane kind of are having an interaction. Who's going to put who through a table that's leaned up against the barricade. Lorcan ends up going through it when Dane does a cross body. When we come back from a commercial break, because there was a commercial break during this, Maverick is being whipped by a belt by Lorcan and Birch. And Dane at one point gets the hot tag. He hits belly-to-belly suplexes on both Lorcan and Birch. Gets a powerbomb and a big elbow on Birch, so he really looks like he's cooking. He tags Maverick in, which commentary questions, because Maverick just got done taking a fucking beating and he got whipped to shit. And the funniest part of the match, and I hate to be that guy, but I did chuckle a little. Dane gets shoved off the apron shortly after making the tag to Maverick, and there were 2 tables set up on the outside kind of position next to each other. And he practically slid off the tables, and neither one of them broke. So he didn't get the catharsis of the table breaking with Dane's size and everything. But I don't remember him showing up again. And when Lorcan and Birch really try and get the one up on Maverick and really lay him down, Maverick low blows both champions, and he has this great spot where he's alternating, whipping both of them with the belt. And at one point, I don't know if the chat can vouch for me on this, I could swear that when Lorcan's seated in the corner, Maverick caught him in the face with the belt, and it looked bad. So again, Lorcan really got a beating tonight. He earned his half of the tag titles. Of course, he's been earning that for the last little bit now that he's been in NXT. Ultimately, though, they do get the advantage back on Maverick. I believe Lorcan restrained Maverick, and it was Birch that hit him in the midsection with a cricket mallet. And then they hit their elevated DDT double team finish to pin Maverick to retain the titles. So overall, a very fun street fight. I apologize, Ashton, for monopolizing the talking on this, but I know that you were late to this.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, there's no reason for you to apologize. I apologize for not being able to watch this live and not being able to have a back and forth with you on this. It's on me for not being able to be home on time. I actually wasn't home and properly settled in to watch NXT until probably like 8:20 tonight. So I missed the first 20 or so minutes of the show. The first thing I remember seeing on the show was the O'Reilly Balor review of their last match. So I missed the first of the 3 Gargano Christmas vignettes.
Okay, all right. So let's get to the first one. Again, sans Austin Theory. Again, I just got to be honest with all of you. I fucking love these. I think they own that they're cheesy and that they're cringe in a way. And it's that ownership that I think makes me warm up to it.
Yes.
Because nothing's more cringe than when television takes itself seriously, but it's cringe. And it's like, no, we're not cringe. We're serious. No, you're cringe. Just own it. Yeah. I really feel like these guys do, and it works. I put in my notes, we're seeing Christmas with The Way, and one visual that sticks out is they're hanging stockings, right? And in the stockings, their faces are stitched in the stockings, and Indy's face has the neck brace. So her stocking has the face visual with the neck brace on it. I thought that was really nice. Yeah. Indy and Austin are excited for Christmas Day, and Johnny's got the camcorder, so he's being the dad recording everything, and he records them opening presents. Indy can't believe they found a way to put this all together. I love
the authentic feel of the camcorder, by the way, where it had the date and time in the corner.
Yes. Indy says, I can't believe you found a way to put this all together. Candace says, they always find a way. Did they really think they wouldn't celebrate their first Christmas as a family? And then Austin says, and the only good thing he's contributed all night. No way, Jose. And Johnny immediately steps in. Don't say that name in this house. He had no way. It's in his name. And he says it's time to open presents. And Austin goes first. He asks which one is his, and Johnny says the one with your name on it. So Johnny got Austin his own brand of protein powder titled Whey, W-H-E-Y, protein. And Austin excitedly asks if he'll be strong and fast like Johnny, and Johnny says you'll be Austin Takeover in no time. I really expected, and again, Austin Theory is just trash through and through. I can't make that abundantly clear enough. But I would have chuckled a little if Austin just would have been like, thanks, Dad. Just go full cringe and finish it. Just finish. I feel like I almost got blue-balled emotionally.
That's definitely the vibe that I'm getting from this, though, for sure.
Definitely. Candace openly referred to them as a family. I know in one NXT exclusive interview type thing, when Indy was first revealed to be partnering up with her, she said Indy was like a daughter to her. So, that's the vibe they're going for. And if Austin would have just leaned, for all the times for you to lean in and be a fucking tool, I would have probably been like, thanks, Dad, best Christmas ever. It would have got me.
It would have been even better, too, because Johnny would have had a reaction to it. He would be like, thanks, Dad. And Johnny would have been like, wait, what? And then there would have been a long pause, and he would be like, get in here, kiddo.
Exactly. Johnny would have made it work, because Austin's delivery probably would have been crap just like he is, but Johnny at least would have sold it mildly uncomfortable, but also everything I've ever wanted. But it's
Christmas, so I'm going with it, baby.
Exactly. Oh my God. So that was great.
Before we move on, I'm curious, because you mentioned the whey protein. Was it really spelled W-H-E-Y?
I believe so. I don't know if Chad can vouch for me on this, but I could swear that I saw.
Well, that's the thing is, though, that's lame, because that's just a normal, that's a real thing. That's not even a pun. That's just whey protein. That's a real thing that you can buy on a fucking grocery store shelf.
Right. I just think that they were like,
it would have been better if it would have been spelled W-A-Y protein. That would have been perfect.
Okay, so you're thinking you could have graphically designed a label, put it on a bottle, and been like, this really is my personal branded protein because... Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
It's not whey protein. It's whey protein, or even the whey protein.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, man. I see what you're saying, but I gotta be honest, like, I like the clever workaround of not, like, spamming just that single word way and just, like, finding ways around it. With no pun intended there, I guess.
Finding ways around it. I see what you did there, you son of a bitch.
Oh, my God, we're gonna get sucked into this cult before long. I just know it. But, yeah.
We aren't already?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I am. I can't believe that fucking Johnny Gargano's made a turnaround with me. Really, if we had a comeback of the year award, Johnny probably would have won it because
turnaround of the year, yeah.
Yeah, turnaround of the year award, he would have won it hands down because I can't believe I'm actually liking this dude's segments now.
You can call it the "I'm in, you son of a bitch" of the year award.
Yeah, hey, 2021, you never know. That might be something we have to do, dude. I actually like the idea of that. Next up, the look at Balor versus O'Reilly, and they do this by having Kyle and Finn rewatch their takeover match. You did say you were back for this, so I'm going to take a little break from talking.
I was going to say, no, I was back about halfway through this. I didn't see most of it.
I'm going to be honest. Segments like this, I don't really do diligent note-taking for. I apologize for that.
No, dude, I don't blame you at all. I didn't do diligent notes at all. I feel like this, as effective as this is at building up towards a big match, it also feels very filler to me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these guys are great. I love Kyle's personality, and Finn just brings, as if he didn't enough in his first run all those years ago, he brings such an air of credibility to the championship, and he backs it up. They both talk about, the injuries to the other, like Kyle with the ribs, and Finn, of course, with the broken jaw in 3 places. And the liver, yeah, the liver, really, I said ribs, but I think it was primarily liver, yeah. And Kyle said seeing that shot back, really pisses him off because he just felt all the hope leave his body. And Kyle, when ranting about Finn's jaw, like the moment that everybody remembers, and you could tell Finn's pissed because he even says, like, I don't think people remember who won the match. And it shows the coup de grace for the pin. So these guys did well with it. It was a nice segment, but it's just not something I take diligent notes on. It's not really something that sparks a discussion. You know what does spark a discussion, though? Tyler Rust and Malcolm Bivens. I actually thought this was the match. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is just the promo that they did. Yeah. But you know what, brother? Since you messaged me first about it.
Yes, this is the first message that I sent you about actual NXT. I just loved it. I loved that Bivens was talking about how Tyler Rust had one of the best in-ring debuts in NXT history. Who can say that they had their debut match against a former NXT champion and they took him to the limit? Nobody. Only Tyler Rust. It was awesome.
Dude, I mean, it's obvious, but I fucking love Malcolm Bivens. Like, I love that this dude can be funny, but he's a genuine hype man, not to mention a fucking short king. Represent! So, yeah, man, I love it. So good. And, dude, that line, Diamond in the Rust, put that on a fucking
t-shirt, baby, yes.
Yes.
Fuck, put it on a hoodie. I'd wear it.
Dude, yes, right? You're in the gym, you're fucking training. What's he wearing? Oh, nothing. Just a Diamond in the Rust hoodie. Suck it, Tyson. Like, I love it, man. I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead because I put this in my notes for, like, Rust's match that they had later in the show against Arya Daivari. But these two together, and I'm sure I'm speaking for you too, easy Fave 5 material, dude. Easy Fave 5 material. So fucking good. So yeah, hold on. I'm just responding to Foster here. There we go. Yeah, I had only one more left here. So yeah, I know you did. Oh my God. So after this, we get Swerve versus Atlas. What'd you think about this match, man?
This match was pretty fun. I feel like these guys are like, I love Swerve. Swerve's fucking amazing with the right dance partner. I'm starting to wonder, though, if Jake Atlas is just kind of boring, like we said the other week, or if it really is like a lack of chemistry between these guys in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I thought this match was better than their last one.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. Like, I know towards the tail end of this match, Atlas hit a really cool-looking Yoshi Tonic for a 2 count.
Yes, that was what I made in my notes too. Yeah, I made
and
that.
And then like the finishing sequence where Atlas goes for a poison Rana off the middle rope and Swerve lands on his feet, and we get almost like the Ibushi Ospreay cinematic moment where Atlas is distraught because he heard Swerve land on his feet behind him. Like, that was pretty cool. And the finish itself, dude, Swerve doing that headbutt low key. Send me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I am starting to warm up to him being a heel, admittedly. I still really loved what he was doing as a babyface, especially in the Escobar feud, which is low-key, like, I think one of the best feuds of the year. To find out which did take the top spot, you'll want to join us on the 31st for TWitWoW year-end awards. It's going to be.
I have everything finally filled out. Yay!
I'm going to say this in front of everyone. I am so fucking proud of you right now. You get that? And I want you to hold tight to that, okay? Because I am so proud of you right now.
Oh my god!
But yeah, dude.
Oh my god! I can't even.
You're adorable. I am warming up to Swerve being a heel. I think I'll always, part of me, prefer him as a babyface, but that's just a testament to how he was presented as a babyface, because, you know, I'm normally more partial to heels.
Yeah.
I feel like, but you know what, let me just say, and I don't think this is a giveaway for year-end awards, because I'm not even going to name anybody specific. I will say, very early on in this podcast, well, I won't say very early on, but it wasn't that long ago on this podcast, I said, along the lines of, I really feel like this is the era of heels. I really feel like babyfaces have made a comeback, and I've really kind of noticed it, like, between last year and especially this year. So babyfaces are kind of turning a tide for me, where I think we're getting better quality babyfaces. Why is that, sir?
Because we need some kind of sign of hope in these trying times.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
We live in a capitalist hellscape with a fucking pandemic. We need something to root for.
Yes, that is undoubtedly true. Swerve ends up getting the win with that, where the guy, like, has his hands on the ropes, and he just flips him over, and he drives him down, and apparently Joseph calls that the confidence boost.
Yeah.
So that's just what I have in my notes.
You know, it's interesting, because it's basically a JML driver, but instead of starting out of an electric chair, you just start with them, you know, hanging on the ropes like that.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, man, like, again, and it's not me trying to be nitpicky about Swerve being a heel, I don't know if I like that too much as a finish, because it seems really dependent on the other guy. Like, oh, you got to be positioned like this, and I'm going to flip you over and do that.
Yeah, I agree, but here's the thing. I do not think that this is going to stick as, like, a long-term finisher. I don't think that he's going to be using his opponent hanging onto the top rope to set up his finisher every time. I think this is, like, a finisher that he has an option to use. I'm guessing that JML driver is going to stay his primary finisher. He just hits it very rarely.
Yeah, you know what, man? I hope you're right about that, because you know what? I figured it out while you were talking, what my problem with this is. It seems to, I won't say be exactly like, but it seems to have an affinity with the Tree of Woe double stomp, and how we always hated that. So, just, because Swerve's so good. He's so good with the way that he moves. Although, I'll be honest, speaking of how somebody moves in the ring, Swerve might actually have some competition in fucking Tyler Rust, and we're gonna get to that later tonight. But yeah, that was great. So Swerve gets the win. I love that Swerve does the fucking crotch chop after, right in Atlas's face when he's sitting in the corner. And he's like, oh, shake my hand. Come on, shake my hand. And he's like gloating and this and that. And Atlas just nopes out of it. He's like, oh, what the hell, Swerve? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? So yeah, Swerve was definitely.
Did you see what Atlas said on his way up the ramp while he was holding his head because of the headbutt?
I know he, like, asked Swerve if he was serious. Maybe I didn't catch everything. What did he say?
He was like, you know what you did.
Oh, wow.
I think he's really bitter about the headbutt. I think he took the headbutt as, like, Swerve taking liberties or something like that. Yeah, I really love Swerve's confidence, and to be honest, he's earned the right. So that's what I think about that. Adam Cole and Roderick Strong get interviewed, and they get to talk a little bit about how Kyle O'Reilly has changed and he's ready. And then Trash interrupts, and we get a match set up for later tonight, and we're not going to talk about either thing. So let's move right along. I will say I did enjoy Adam Cole bitch slapping Trash.
I did. A bitch slapping Trash is always healthy. Yeah, Sanitation Department should do that a lot more, and WWE should definitely do that a lot more.
Yeah.
We get a Thatcher promo. This was nice, at least. Thatcher says Ciampa wanted to fight him, and he credits Ciampa for doing it to his face. You know, I don't really see that much anymore. He says a takeover, Ciampa tried taking his ear, while Thatcher tried taking his neck. I will say, dude, I've never had as much a problem with it as you do, but I did have a nitpick here where he kept saying Ciampa, and it just kind of got to me a little bit tonight. I'm like, it's Ciampa. If you're going to be in a heated rivalry with somebody, get their name right.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the day that Ciampa's in a feud with somebody and they keep saying his name wrong, and one of his lines in a promo after he's just like beat their ass is he just like goes up to a camera or he like grabs a mic and he like goes down and he bends over to him and he goes, "It's Ciampa, bitch."
Yes. Imagine having a nemesis whose name you don't even know.
I know.
On, Thatcher.
Gosh, you haven't heard him say his own name even though you listen to him talk frequently?
Exactly. So, he says the TakeOver, Ciampa tried taking his ear, Thatcher tried taking his neck. He talks about how he came down last week to observe Ciampa's match and challenge him face to face, and it ends up erupting, and he says he, ends up getting restrained and ejected from the arena as if he doesn't belong there. Thatcher says he gets no respect, and the Ciampa says he doesn't like people that talk like tough guys, but Thatcher's going to do that right now. He says he's going to take liberties with Leon Ruff tonight, and if Ciampa is the man he says he is, he'll stop him because Thatcher wants to fight Ciampa. And I can tell you, the last part of this promo aged incredibly well.
Dude, Jim Cornette is having a fucking stroke somewhere for Thatcher saying that he's going to take liberties with Ruff.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, man. So then
He's stroking out, man. He's stroking out.
Oh, God, you know it. Oh, God, so many creepers probably vinegar stroking at that line. Oh, God. Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai. Raquel gets banned from ringside, which is explained via tweets, because Rhea said, Dakota can't win without Raquel. Raquel just more or less says, like, oh, Dakota doesn't mean me. In fact, Mr. Regal wanting to ban me from ringside. Rhea's like, interesting idea, Raquel, and, does it. And then Dakota's like, I can handle my business now.
I'm to take you up on that offer.
Exactly. I will say this, just to be a bit more positive. I really do. I want to make it publicly known here. I love Dakota Kai. I think she's a great leader in the ring. All of her stuff looks good. She bumps her ass off. And I really do feel like, honestly, I was even thinking about this tonight, if they ever wanted to turn her face again, I think she's gone through enough of a journey that if they were really committed to pushing her, which is always in doubt because she always does the job, they could really get a lot of mileage out of her. Because
in my heavily biased opinion, Dakota Kai is one of the most valuable assets that the WWE has on their roster.
I completely agree with you. I like if that is a heavily biased opinion, at least you have an accomplice, because I completely agree with you. Watching a match like this, because you talked about how Rhea's like solid, but she's not in that ring general territory. You could very easily see how Dakota is.
Oh my God,
even in this match.
Yeah, Dakota Kai, 100% ring general. She leads the match. She's the workhorse. And another, there's so many reasons too why I say she's one of the most valuable members of the roster too, because not only is she that ring general that can kind of lead less experienced wrestlers to a good to great match, but if you put her against somebody else that's as good as her, she'll have a great match and could be a potential match of the year person. She can be a heel or a face, and we've seen now that she's very effective at both. And she is doing charity streams on Twitch all the damn time, and you cannot get enough of that good PR, especially if you're trash like WWE.
I mean, we stand Dakota Kai in this household.
You're damn right we do. You're damn right we do. She is the only person that I follow twice on Twitter.
Holy shit.
She has multiple accounts, and I followed 2 or 3 of them.
That is dedication. That is dedication, sir. So, yeah, I mean, the story is very straightforward, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Oftentimes, that's where you get the most effective matches. Rhea overwhelms Dakota early on with her power and strikes, but Dakota uses her evasiveness and quickness to stomp Rhea's arm into the apron, which Rhea, to her credit, did sell very well. And then Dakota gets her, isolated in a hammerlock and throws the arm into the ring post. And then when we come back from break, Dakota has Rhea in an armbar, which she escapes via powerbomb. So, again, it's that old power versus technique dynamic. I love this sequence. Kai at one point misses the KO kick, but then Rhea gets her in the electric chair position and does kind of the forward drop facebuster maneuver. Dakota tried for a victory roll. Rhea countered it into a condo clutch. Another great sequence. I honestly thought that was going to be the finish, and Dakota was going to tap out while she was looking at Raquel on the stage, because Raquel did come out, but she kept her distance because she was banned from ringside, and they kind of used that wording to be a bit clever and say, but you didn't say I couldn't stand on the stage. So then... yeah. At one point, Dakota does get the chiropractor for a near fall, Dakota counters the first Riptide attempt with a attempted guillotine. I love how quickly Dakota does it too. Like, doesn't miss a beat. It looks so smooth, so good. Unlike the post-brawl that we got after this match. Rhea just throws Dakota off violently, squashes her on the canvas, gets the second Riptide, gets the win. Yep. And then the post-match brawl, which we already addressed significantly in the first segment, so we're going to get right over that.
Yeah. So here's another fun fact. Speaking of people that this podcast stands, would you like to know who the main stamp of approval was on the name Kaio Kick that made Dakota Kai go with it?
Wasn't that Keith Lee?
You damn right it was. It was Keith Lee, baby.
Keith, hopefully winner of 2021 Royal Rumble fucking Lee.
Wow, that's a long middle name.
Or we should say, he's getting that push, finally.
Oh, shit, he did the thing. He did the thing, everyone.
Okay, this Gargano Christmas vignette was my favorite one. Because
it knows the indie one?
Yes.
She's so cool. I love Indy.
She opens her gift, which at first appears to be a PS5, and Johnny's got this look on his face like, the fuck? And Indy's so excited. And Johnny and Candice look puzzled because they're like those parents that are like, we can't afford that. Santa, is that you? But no, it's nothing whimsical like that. Johnny actually says it's just the box and the PS5 is actually his, which, can I just say, you know, because it is like, we'll call this Christmas Eve TWitWoW. I have always said, because I'm a piece of shit individual that clearly hasn't worked through his issues, that if I ever had children, the dream was always to wrap like pieces of coal, like their actual gifts, and every time my child opens a gift, it's just another lump of coal, as the complex just deepens and burrows into their psyche until we get to a point in therapy where they're practically going to subsist off of it into their 40s and 50s. And then their real gifts get used as the coal in the fireplace. So you see, you do reverse, I'd say reverse psychology, but it's really just reverse gift giving. So Johnny kind of, was tangential to that here. It's like, no.
You just pull a Butter's dad and you put the hamburger helper in your milk instead of cereal because they weren't in the same place they were supposed to be. So now the toys are in the fire and the charcoal is in the gifts.
Exactly. And if you tell me I'm parenting wrong, fuck you, call Child Protective Services. I don't fear no bitch.
Yeah, the little brat should have been better about alphabetical order.
Exactly. Now I'm going to stop myself here because I am this close to my own personalized hashtag. As Johnny tells Indy, no, it's just the box.
John is over party?
Oh, you know it. And not over in the way that I'd like to think that I am. And Johnny says, your gift is even better than a PS5. And Indy asks, as I'm sure we all do incredulously, well, what's that? And Johnny says, we've decided to officially christen you. You've gotten the name.
You've earned the family nickname.
Yeah, you've earned the family nickname. You are now Indie Wrestling. And Indy says that is better than a PS5. And Candice, and again, this is how you do it.
I love Indy's accent, by the way. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, dude, it was really prominent here, I feel like. And I'm like, damn. Foster, I worry me too, whatever consolation that might be worth. And Candice, with the proper amount of cringe, take notes theory, says, they support her. They support indie wrestling.
Moral of the story, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, since I've already very clearly turned up in this segment, I might as well share with everyone that I had in my notes that these vignettes had so much cheese, my lactose intolerance had twins. And honestly, I fucking love it, though. I love it, though. It's great. Theory's crying with a cookie. And he's like, oh, it's so beautiful. But, I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing, so shut your fucking pie hole, Theory.
Dude, why do you keep speaking so many truths? My hands are going to start clapping.
I apologize, sir. I apologize. Wait, can I use the line that I just thought of? Oh, no, I can't use it here. Damn. Because I was going to say you could stop clapping while I start fapping, but this isn't an appropriate segment for that because it's just Tony Storm getting interviewed.
God. I will say they're doing a pretty good job of building up this match. I just am not interested in seeing it personally.
I will agree with you about the build-up, and I would say that I'm a bit more interested in it than you are, but it's really not by much, dude. Like, we know the match that you and I want. I mean, really, after tonight...
At this point. Match is. Like, after tonight, fuck, give me Mercedes. Yes, please.
Oh, dude. We'll get... Again, I'm really excited to talk about that. But Mackenzie asks Tony what's next. Tony says what's next is her taking the NXT Women's Championship from Io Shirai. Tony says Io gets scared every time Tony mentions the championship because Io knows that Tony is the one woman on the roster that she can't beat. Tony says Io is wrong when she says the NXT Women's Championship is her only problem. She has a second problem named Tony Storm. So, good delivery by Tony. Again, we already kind of addressed it. Do you have anything you want to add?
I don't really have anything to add of substance, just a little fluff here. I have noticed, it seems like pretty much the entire Stardom locker room absolutely adores Tony Storm, so she seems to be a pretty decent person at least.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad to hear that at least, because Tony really does come off as kind of like a sweetheart, like somebody you enjoy hanging out with backstage, whatever.
I don't know if I've ever shown you the costume change battle royal where Momo actually cosplays as Tony Storm, but it's pretty awesome.
That sounds pretty awesome. Almost as awesome as Stardom itself, which we'll be covering at 5 p.m. tomorrow with the December 20th show.
Yes, thank you. Plus, there was also the one time that Tam looked at her wrist and was like, "It's Tam time!"
So now that I've transformed...
John, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that it was a lethal dose of cuteness.
It really is. You and me together. Delicious. Mwah. I just want to let everyone know that I'm fully aware that I need to stop. And I know awareness doesn't even address the problem, but I'm trying,
Filthy
okay?
Frank. We need to bring Filthy Frank in.
Oh, God.
It's time to stop.
Xia and Boa Vignette, we're making progress on these. Xia and Boa have toughened up to the point where...
hardened.
Yes, to the point where Boa and Xia both are just asking for more, like, bring it on. And our creepy eye that stares at everything. I noticed the face seemed to be painted.
Yeah.
So we are making bits of progress. I'm still hooked on this, dude. See, now...
It's got very Kyoshi Warrior vibes from the face paint.
Yes. Can I just say, too, dude, since we're on this subject, this is what we can take pride in when we talk about building organic NXT talent that might actually pay off. I don't know, because we've been kind of critical of Xia's in-ring before.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm not exactly getting my hopes up for the actual in-ring part of this, because I don't really think much of Xia and Boa. I really feel like he's not experienced enough to really impress me all that much, and what we did see of him in the one match that he got last year in the breakout tournament didn't really do much for me either.
That's fair. All of that's fair, but you know what, though, dude? I feel like if there's a great presentation, maybe it can hide the deficiencies here.
Maybe.
Either they overcome the deficiencies, which is always preferred, or the presentation is such that it compensates for them, which, while not preferred, is certainly better than just having the deficiencies be glaringly out in the open. So, and yeah, Foster, I'm kind of rooting for Boa for the same reason. Like, he's so wholesome, and he made Keith Lee food, and like, I root for good people. I just want good people to succeed. So yeah, God, I'm going to kind of be a hypocrite here because I'm sure Bronson Reed's a good dude, but we get Bronson Reed versus Ashanti Adonis. I feel like they're pushing the wrong person here. I just really don't care about Bronson Reed.
Yeah. You know what, though? Dude, this kind of blew up my mind. It sounded like they said that Bronson Reed weighs 430 pounds.
Oh, wow. That's a big Twinkie.
I think he ate one or two of those big Twinkies, too. What the hell? I thought he was closer to 300, not 4 bills. What the hell? What? He weighs more than Braun Strowman. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Braun is like 380, but he's also like 6'8".
Yeah. Holy shit, dude. What the fuck?
I really hope I just misheard and they actually said 330 pounds, but it really sounded like they said 430.
They might have misspoke, because even if I was like, nah, he's 330. But yeah, Reed makes quick work here of Adonis. He gets the top rope splash, and he mouths during the cover that he's back. and he tells everybody to be afraid. Yeah, I'm afraid of the dip in quality when you're on my screen. So now that I'm done being a catty fuck, do you have anything you want to add?
Did you catch what the new name of his finishing splash is?
What's that?
Tsunami.
Yippity doo-dah.
And of course, now he came back with a nickname.
Which is?
Colossal.
Yeah, he didn't have that before. I feel like he's had that before he went on this whole hiatus or whatever.
If he had it before, it was less prominent, because this time it was like on his Tron and his nameplate, and they announced him as the Colossal Bronson Reed.
Oh my god. Yeah, it really is one of those things, dude, where if I'm being honest, like, it's not even that Bronson Reed's bad in the ring. Like, obviously, I would trust him with people. I don't think he's unsafe or anything like that. I just find him boring. You know, that really is what it is. I know we've had workers on this podcast where, like, we give them their due, like, congratulations, you wouldn't hurt or kill anyone, which I would fucking hope so in this line of work, but you're just boring. And that's what Bronson Reed is with me. I think he's a safe worker, all that stuff. It's nothing about him in that way.
He's another Killian Dane.
Exactly. He really is. He's another Killian Dane.
He's a big, thick boy that we don't give a shit about.
Yeah. Just, I really do not care.
Okay, now, I want to do this next one, because this was really fun. Io, walking backstage with a purpose. Mackenzie Mitchell tries to catch up to her. She's just like, Io, did you hear what Tony said earlier? And Io's just like, yeah, I heard what she said. And then she walks up to a guy backstage and she's just like, hit my music. And then she makes her way out and she grabs a chair. She struggles a little bit to get the chair in the ring, but when she does, she sets it up, sits down and says, Tony Storm, come on. And Tony's music hits. And I'm like, oh man, it's about to go down. They're about to show Rhea and Raquel what a street fight looks like. And then Mercedes shows up. God. Mercedes Martinez shows up and beats the absolute hell out of Io, throws her around, scoop slams her onto the fucking chain wall of the CWC, throws her into the announce table, shoots her into the ring post. She absolutely destroys Io here. I really want this match, and I really I know we're getting Io Tony, and I hope that Tony doesn't win so that we can get Io Mercedes and then eventually Io Shotzi again.
Dude, oh my god, this beatdown. This was so fucking good, dude. The part that made me pop, and I didn't even know how to articulate this in my notes because, you know, you can use it in different ways. So I even had to specify in my own notes. Mercedes threw Io through the announce table, as in she breaks the outer part of it, and Io's like kind of laying inside the announce table. Yeah. I've never seen anything like that, dude. That was such a crazy visual. Mercedes attacked Io with such an intensity and aggression. Like, Raquel, seriously, pull Mercedes aside and be like, can you train with me on weekends? Because, like, I think Mercedes would be a great mentor for somebody like Raquel that's trying to achieve that effect, and you didn't even come close. Yeah. I got more heat off of that. Like, dude, if you were just plopped in front of the TV, I'm going to ask you, because I never want to be hyperbolic. If you were plopped in front of the TV, and you just watched NXT for the first time, and you saw that attack, wouldn't you assume that those two had animosity for months? Yeah. Or that, like, maybe Io took her out or something? Yeah, right? This was Mercedes returning and wanting to put everybody on notice. This was no, like, personal beef. Could have fucking fooled me. Yeah. She destroyed her ass. Holy fucking shit. The only thing that would have topped this is now if when Io responds, she, like, channels, like, her inner, you know, Black Lotus triad, like, fucking leader, and she fucking kills Mercedes. Like, I want these two to destroy each other because that beatdown was so fucking legit. Again, through the announce table in a completely different context than what we're used to. I lost my mind. I'm like, oh my god. Mercedes, you can't talk for shit, but man, if you can't sell a fucking fight with your physicality. Yep. Holy fuck. Oh my god.
I will never understand why they split her from Robert Stone. That was the best thing that was going at the time. And, like, they kind of ruined it by having Stone fail to help her beat Rhea and then dissolved it for no reason.
Yeah, and then I don't like, too, on the manager side, why is it that, like, we can't get Robert Stone when it's Malcolm Bivens' time, and we can't get Malcolm Bivens when it's Robert Stone's time? Maybe you could platform both. That's just a fucking thought.
Robert Stone was like an how do I put this? Robert Stone was like an unappreciated gem this year.
Yes, dude. Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely.
He was
fucking
thoroughly
stellar.
Entertaining in an era where it was difficult to do anything.
I mean, I even wonder. I almost want to go on. I'm on Twitter now. I want to check and see if Robert Stone had anything to say about Mercedes being back.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Dakota just tweeted 17 seconds ago. 2020 sucks, and it was just a picture of her with a trash can over her. Oh, poor Dakota. Hopefully 2021 is better for her, but let's see. Oh, yeah, he actually did. 1 hour ago, hey, @Real Martinez, we love your Twitter account. Would you like to collab? DM me here, and one of my Robert Stone brand team members will get back to you and organize something special for you. Oh, my God. So he's trying to crawl back to her, it seems. Okay.
Oh, please, Mercedes. I know you're a smart woman. Go back to him.
Yeah, because you can sell the fight with your physicality. Stone can sell the fight just, again, by being that manager. So, yeah, this was great, dude. Honestly, I almost feel like if it wasn't for the next big segment that we got, actually, no, that's still a little ways away. I'm sorry. My notes are like I just look back at them. But if it wasn't for, I'll say, Rust Bivens, because that's a few segments away, this really would have been my segment of the night. And even taking Rust Bivens into account, this was so fucking good. So, yeah, after that, we get the final Gargano Christmas vignette. Last gift, Johnny gives us the love of his life, Candace. It's a wheel, and we all know Johnny Gargano hates wheels, but he spent a lot of time in the junkyard digging it up. It's a wheel from Shotzi's destroyed tank, and he wanted to present it to their general. And then they're like, all right, guys, gather around for the Christmas picture. And then I guess...
I blame you for this, by the way.
Oh, wait, why is that?
Because you thought you retired Johnny Scumbag, but it turns out you just lost track of him, and he found his way to Gargano.
Was that deliberate? A choice of words? Found his way to Gargano?
No, it wasn't, but I'll take it.
God damn it. See, this is how it happens. They're gonna fucking appropriate your iPod syndrome, dude. They're gonna reconfigure it to away syndrome. You're just gonna find a way to use that word. See? I'm
gonna find a what to use that word, sir?
You fucking know what I said. But yeah, present the wheel to their general. They go over the Christmas photo, and of course, Austin Theory ruins it because every family needs a postpartum abortion, and Theory just happens to fit the bill.
Truer words haven't been spoken than that in a long time.
I'm really feeling myself tonight, and I hope it doesn't come back to haunt me.
I wouldn't mind feeling you tonight either.
So after this, we get Thatcher versus Ruff. I already talked about this at length in our first segment, so we can just kind of go over this. Priest addresses Cross before New Year's Evil. It was just hype up shit. Nothing really much to say.
Yep, same thing for Cross, too.
Yeah, exactly. Dexter Loomis drawing the New Year's Evil thing. I already kind of mentioned that, so again, we'll cross over that. But now let's get to the fucking star, baby. Tyler Rust. With Malcolm Bivens. Can you tell which one I think is the star? And it's about equal. Versus Arya Daivari. Dude, what did you think of this? I want you to go first on this before I go.
Oh, I love Tyler Rust, dude. He's so good. High key. I'm so happy with the way they're presenting him. I did not expect for him to come in and immediately be pushed as like a really legit contender like this. But they're nailing it. They're absolutely nailing the presentation on Rust. I'm so happy to see him getting more respect here than he got in fucking New Japan, weirdly enough. How weird is that? And I'm just so excited to see how far they're willing to take this, because I could see North American champion in his future.
I mean, Foster even said, I believe it was last week, where he's like, this is my first time seeing Rust, and I already want him to be North American champion. Yeah. And like we talked about like how huge that was for Foster to make that kind of assessment. I will say, dude, to kind of circle back to a point that you made, and I'm not even saying like in the review, but like on Facebook to me, I know you loved Rust's theme, and I can't wait for a clean version.
Yeah, I was even going to say, dude, Foster was talking earlier about how much of a banger of a theme he thinks that Bronson Reed has. And I kept my mouth shut then, but I'm just going to come right out and say right now, I think Tyler Rust is a genuine contender for Theme Song of the Year.
I need to hear a clean version before I co-sign on that, but what I could make
out, it genuinely sounds like something that a Trans-Siberian Orchestra would make. It's so good.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for a clean version of it because if not this year, because it's really late in the game and I already have my awards filled out, that's early contender for 2021 because once a clean version comes out, I could see myself working out to that song for the bits that I could make out.
Yeah.
I really liked it. The two things I want to make note of that I did put literally in my notes, I can't stress enough, man, how this combination, how much I love this combination. If I could speak, I'm so excited. Of Rust and Bivens.
Yeah.
Because Rust, I think, brings the technical acumen, but Bivens, man, he goes over to the announce table a few times. He's the best. He took champion to the limit. It's like, yeah, like, oh, good. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for Malcolm because I've actually watched shoot interviews. Like, I love Malcolm Bivens. When I tolerated watching an interview that he gave with Sam Roberts. Like, that's how much I love Malcolm Bivens.
Wow.
And that's where I learned that Bivens, like, as a manager, he didn't get his inspiration from people like Blassie or whatever. He actually got his inspiration from black comedians like Bernie Mac and such. And that's why I fucking love Malcolm. He brings such a distinct taste to it all.
Yeah.
And so, he's fucking great. But, dude, I wanted to say,
what
too.
The fuck?
We okay?
No, yeah, I'm fine. I thought I had everything muted up, but I just got a notification on Discord and heard it. And I was like, oh, shit, I guess I don't have anything muted up. Okay, that's unfortunate. So I'm going to, go ahead, man. Sorry about that.
No, dude, honestly, you low-key kind of scared me because I didn't know if we went, like, offline or something.
No.
But, no, I'm glad we didn't. And you're fine, man. You're fine. I just wanted to say, dude, that, like, again, I had said earlier that I feel like Swerve finally has competition for who moves best in the ring because the moment that made me pop the most in this fucking match, besides the crucifix armbar finish, which was immaculate,
dude,
I
ZSJ-esque, right?
Dude, yes. You know what else was fucking ZSJ-esque since you, like, invoked that parallel? Daivari fucking trash talking, and from the trash talk, Rust gets him in a triangle.
Yeah.
I love that shit, dude. Again, I put in my notes, these guys are going to skyrocket my Fave 5, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do yours as well. He's the one I'm most curious about for both of us next quarter. How high is he going to be for you? How high is he going to be for me? Because I'm not guaranteeing he'll be number one, but I'll tell you, this act, man, this fucking act, I like it.
I like it a lot, but I promise you he will not be number one on my Fave 5.
I could see him making your top 3, though. I could see him making your top 3 potentially, depending on how the rest of it goes.
They would have to really continue not featuring Cameron Grimes because
that is true. But I mean, then again, Cameron Grimes is going to be out for the next few weeks, as you know. He's dealing with recovering from an injury or surgery, I think it was.
Well, yeah, but our next Fave 5 isn't until like the very first Thursday in February, so we've got time.
We do have time. I'm just saying, man.
There was time now.
Fuck you, Bemis. Learn to take an extra pair of glasses.
Fuck you, Bemis.
We are so weird with our references. I don't even know. I worry about us. But yeah, regardless.
That makes one of us. I don't worry about us at all. I think we're fucking great.
Oh my God. I don't know why you puffing your chest out just fucking killed me. No, we're excellent. It's everyone else that's the problem. But no, man, on some real shit, if you get Rust in a program that has, like, consistent segments, I don't even know. Maybe top 3 is hyperbole for you. I don't think it's hyperbole for me because, I don't think any other category gets more violently shuffled for me than the NXT category every quarter.
Yeah.
And so, knowing that about me personally, he could make top 3 for me. And especially with Malcolm Bivens in tow. And I hope they don't drop him too quickly because they talked about how much more awkward the fist bump was this week during the interview segment. I hope it's not something where like, oh, I don't need you. Yes, you do. Everybody needs Malcolm Bivens in their life. So, yeah, Rust gets the win. So, moving on
Let me just ask you, John, from a journalistic standpoint, is there such thing as too much Malcolm Bivens?
No.
I knew it. I've been speculating for years. I just had to know from the horse's mouth. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome, sir, and you're beautiful. And you know why you're beautiful? Because you appreciate Malcolm Bivens. That's like 95% of the work right there.
Wow, so good to know that I don't actually have any inherent value on my own.
That's the other 5%, silly. Of course we save some room for that.
Oh. But it made me feel so good and then so bad right afterwards.
Now that the existential dread is setting in, what came after this? Oh yeah, Leon Ruff's interview. North American Championship match next week. Again, I already kind of touched on this. Says the Gargano curse is real, and he's going to show up next week to make sure it remains unbroken. Cross and Scarlet. Yeah. Cross and Scarlet respond to Priest. Again, more promotional shit. And then we get Adam Cole, sexiest man on the planet who tells no lies, versus Trash. Hooray, Adam Cole wins.
And that's the match.
And the only big thing we get out of it is that we know that we're going to get Roderick Strong versus Pete Dunne next week.
Peter Dunne, baby.
Exactly. So, yeah, that was NXT. So let's get into high spots, low shots. My low shot, who did I pick this week? Oh, yeah, Dane and Maverick.
My face, I know that.
Well, yeah, your face always fucking wins. Get the hell out of here. I picked Dane and Maverick because they were the only ones to challenge for a championship tonight, and they lost because they're losing.
Suck less, bitches.
You are really feeling yourself right now. Who's your low shot?
Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez for that horrible pull-apart fight that made me not like either one of them.
You know what? They deserved it. I'm glad that you shamed them this publicly. That's good for them.
I'm glad. Yeah, thanks, man. You make me feel a lot better.
Honorary high spot. Got to give it to my boy Malcolm Bivens. It's just so great seeing him on TV, and he's genuinely good at this. And again, that Diamond in the Rust line. Oh.
Chef's kiss.
Yes. Actual high spot, Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah.
You know, because there were so many picks that I could have made tonight. I'm assuming you picked the person that I didn't pick, although I'll be pleasantly surprised if you didn't. I always appreciate the ingenuity.
I did.
But and then that's why. I never want to take things right because I always feel like you sell the obvious ones better than I do. But Mercedes just fucking killed it.
I'm surprised you didn't pick the guy that I'm about to pick's manager.
Yeah, I know, as the actual high spot, right? Yeah. Because he did get the honorary high spot, but Mercedes did have an amazing night tonight. She's a shot in the arm to this women's division. Given what it's centering, definitely needs one. Yeah. And just so happy to have her back. And really, again, I'm not saying never call Mercedes up to the main roster, but she is like an older competitor. And I've always said that I feel like she could be like a William Regal. Well, yeah, Shayna is too, but I don't know. I always felt like Shayna was more marketable in her own way than Mercedes, personally.
Well, the talking alone is enough to be able to say that.
Exactly. I always felt like Mercedes, and I don't mean this as an insult at all, especially when you figure how much I respect this person. I always thought that she could be like a William Regal-esque type character for the NXT Women's Division. Yeah. And I see that as a really good spot for her. So it's just really great to have her back. But I'm going to give the floor to you, sir. Who's your high spot? And do you have any honorary high spots this week?
Honorary high spot Swerve.
Yes, okay.
Because, he's back on track, baby. He got a win over the guy that he accidentally lost to the other week.
Yeah, I love it.
But now the real high spot goes to Russ Taylor. Because, of course.
Diamond in the Rust, baby.
Oh, and you know I'm a fucking nerd when I accidentally call him by his previous name. Tyler Rust is my high spot tonight.
Yeah, that was my indie name. But yeah, Tyler Rust gets it done. Good shit. Good fucking shit.
You have to call me by my corporate name now. Gosh.
Yeah, cool. With that said, God, it's been a different energy tonight, hasn't it? With that said, we're good. This has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW. Gonna bring it down. The best. Oh yeah, hit your ears so good. Wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. Yeah. So if you please leave a like on the video as you file out, because the more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Be sure to comment down below when this video is done processing. Talk to us. Here's a fun, more comedic question. What would you like to have been given as a gift at Gargano Christmas? Because we know that Indy got the family nickname. Austin Theory got protein powder. What gift would have made you happy? And no, you can't say a PS5 because that's Johnny's. For a Gargano Christmas. How do you feel about Mercedes being back? If you could rank the defenses that EO seemingly has to anticipate, Mercedes, Tony, Raquel, And hopefully Ember, when she gets some fucking wins back. Jesus Christ, we didn't even see her tonight. Oh, God. Which title matches are you anticipating the most? How do you feel about Tyler Rust and Malcolm Bivens? Is he a diamond in the rust, or are you mad about it? Talk to us. Be sure to subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications. Guys, it is Christmas week. It's Christmas Eve, and in just a few minutes it'll be Christmas Eve. So we're rounding out the week pretty strong. Tomorrow we have got Stardom, the December 20th show. It's going to have several banger matchups. We've got, obviously the world title, Utami versus Momo, Wonder of Stardom Championship, and SWA Women's Championship. Shuri versus Julia, double title match. Future of Stardom title, Maika defending against Saya Kamitani and Saya Ida. Utami and Kamitani also pulling double duty.
No. That's on the 26th.
Okay, that's on the 26th. Never mind then. We know on the 26th, though, I might as well say, they are defending the Goddesses titles against Konami and Black Widows. And yeah, just should be. Oh, and then we got Azumi versus May. I keep sleeping on, as Javaris calls her, the homie Azumi.
I've also seen an image from that match, and May has new gear. It's not just like the weird, single, one-piece swimsuit that she was wearing before. It looks dope. It looks very Stardom-esque.
Fucking excellent. You know what else is dope, though, is your face. Just had to get that in there. Yes, we'll be covering that at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I think that's our only recording of the day, and it is a over 3-hour show, guys, so we'll be going a little after 8 with that one. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I think Correct. It is, right? Yeah, we have off. So, guys, be sure to check the description box for everything that TWitWoW is involved in. Ashton's pinned tweet is TWitWoW scheduled around out the month of December. We've got the Stardom show coming up, and then next week we've obviously got the NXT review on Wednesday, and we may even have another Stardom show on Wednesday because, as Ashton said, the 26th show may be up by Wednesday for us to do. Yep. So that would, of course, be at 5 p.m. Eastern time. NXT reviews, of course, happen at 10. But the big thing, the 31st, because it's 8 days away now, so we really got to start promoting it now. It's a doubleheader. 4 p.m. Eastern time is Q&A. Again, big shit fucking popping here. For Q&A, just want to say, you want to check out the TWitWoW Patreon. We break down everything that we offer our patrons. $1 gets you 2 additional Q&A questions, because non-Patreon donors only get 3 Q&A questions. Patreon donors get 5 Q&A questions. If you were to donate $1 right now, you'd get the 5 questions for this Q&A in 8 days. So maybe you're stuck, right? Maybe you've never been a patron before, and you have all these questions you want to ask us, and you're like, man, I've decided on these 3, but I really feel weird leaving these 2 off for the new year, because maybe, I don't know, it's Christmas related or some shit, or, whatever. Donate $1 and get 2 other questions in. So just something to think about. And then, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and you can submit those questions, by the way, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Discord. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. That's the big thing, too. If you want easy place to put your Q&A questions, my pinned tweet is dedicated to that. So Q&A, 4 p.m. At 7 p.m. Eastern time, it's TWitWoW Year-End Awards. We're fucking doing it, baby. It's going down, and it's going to be fucking stellar. Both of our awards lists are done. Ashton, I think in his own way, really kind of hyped it up because he said he finished today. I might go back and maybe change some of mine, but I feel pretty good about my picks. So you'll see everything we picked from top to bottom, from worst match of the year to most anticipated 2021 debut. All the way down. We start with the negatives and we end with the positives. And given how long these commentaries go, we'll probably ring in the new year with you. So it's going to be a really special day, guys. I don't think from a qualitative standpoint, we call ourselves the workhorses of the YWC, doing a Q&A and a year-end awards on the same day.
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
Everything
exactly.
fucking else is this year.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to the fucking excellence emanating from that face over there, because he's right. It is unprecedented. And nobody does it like TWitWoW does it, Daddy. So you're going to want to be there again beginning at 4 p.m. and then year-end awards at 7 p.m. That's on the 31st. So again, to round out this week, we only have one more commentary left, and that is against Stardom, the December 20th show at 5 p.m. With that said, guys, because after that we will have the next 5 days off, we here at TWitWoW wish you a very happy holidays if you celebrate Christmas, a very Merry Christmas Eve and a very Merry Christmas. Hanukkah, I know that's been in progress. I think that's still going, so I hope anybody that celebrates Hanukkah has been enjoying their Hanukkah and has a great rest of their Hanukkah. Kwanzaa, I admittedly don't know when that starts. I am very culturally ignorant, and I apologize. If that hasn't passed, happy Kwanzaa. If not, hope you enjoy it.
Kwanzaa begins on Saturday.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, happy Kwanzaa then. Anybody that celebrates that? All holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope either you enjoyed it if it's already passed, or if it's to come, that you do enjoy it, because God knows we need joy, we need love, we need laughter to end this out. I know that's normally cliched, but seriously, guys, you look at this year and it's like, yeah, maybe those things wouldn't be so bad. And a $2,000 stimulus in the stocking wouldn't be too bad either. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm guessing not well. But seeing as how this year is coming to a close, I want to thank everybody for just all the times you've invited us into your computer screens throughout this whole harrowing ordeal, and that you just be with your loved ones and you love yourself to round out the holiday season. I am so excited to round it out with all of you. It should be a great time, especially on the 31st. Thank you for being just the most wonderful fans out there and for always supporting us. We hope to support you in kind through these tough times. So, yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and then after that, just a very happy holidays to all of you from us here at TWitWoW. With that said, tune in. Peace out.